Thank you for renting from Easy Camper Rental. This is a walkthrough of the Forest River 26 DBH, which is a 28-foot bunkhouse with a slide out. It is a 28-foot box length and a 32-foot total length with one slide out on the driver's side. A few days prior to your pickup date or delivery date, you will receive an email with online documents to sign. Once you have signed and finalized those documents, you will receive a final email with all of the pertinent pickup and drop-off or delivery information, which will include a code for lockbox for the keys, the location, a walkthrough video of the trailer, and everything else that you will need. The drop-off location will be the same as the pickup location unless otherwise agreed. Please return or leave the camper clean inside and outside unless Easy Clean add-on has been selected, which can be selected at any time. Please remember to treat the equipment as your own. And if you are towing, please remember to think 15 feet above you and 30 feet behind you at all times. This means watching out for trees, taking corners wider than normal so you don't hit a curb. And if you're traveling through tighter spaces, travel through those spaces as straight as possible. And watch out for steep drives. For example, if you're going in or out of a gas station, if there's a big dip, you might need to rethink how you will go in and out of there. So what we'll do from now is that we will go through retrieving the keys, the outside of the trailer, and the inside of the trailer. When you show up to the location to pick up your trailer, or if it's been delivered and set up for you, you will first indicate which trailer is yours by the number in the email to the number on the trailer. It might be on the front here too. And then in that email there will also be code for the keys. So the lockbox is on the front of the trailer here. So you put the code in and then you can get the keys out. The trailer will have a series of keys. Two of them, which will look like this one, will go to the doors on the trailer, the main doors on the trailer. There will be a key that will look like this that will go to the storage doors on the trailer, and then there will be a hitch lock key for the hitch lock. So we'll unlock the hitch and then hook up the trailer. Okay, hooking up the trailer is fairly simple. First, the adjustable hitch here, which is included with the rental. It comes with the 2 5/16 inch ball, which is what you need to tow this trailer with. There is an optional add-on for a weight distribution hitch if you'd like to use that. If you've rented that as the add-on, there is another video of that in the description of this video if that's what you have rented, and that will go through that. But this is the adjustable hitch, which works perfectly fine. It can go a drop or a rise, so if the L goes up or it goes down when you put it in the receiver here. So it just depends on the height of your truck. So the easiest way to do this is you put the adjustable hitch in the receiver, and then you measure from the ground to the top of the ball 22 inches. And that should get you about a level tow. There is a tape measure in the cabinet above the sink in a plastic bin that you can use to make that measurement. Again, it's 22 inches from the ground to the top of the ball when you've got the adjustable hitch installed. And again, it's the 2 5/16 inch ball, which is the larger of the two balls on this hitch. So easy enough is that you install the hitch, you back up your tow vehicle until the ball is underneath the coupler here, and then you just crank it down. You don't have to be perfectly spot on, because you can move the front of this trailer around if you need to. But you'll want to take the jack all the way up. I won't do it in this video, but you'll crank it all the way up. You'll pull this pin out and you'll slide this latch forward. Now if this latch gets like stuck right here, it's not sliding all the way forward, that means that the ball is too far back in the coupler. The easiest way to fix that is just pull forward a little bit, and then the ball will pull forward in there. Or sometimes you can kind of just shake this and it will slide the ball into place. So you want to make sure that latch is there, and then you're going to put the pin back in so that doesn't come unlatched. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to take your safety chains here and you're going to hook them on one side, or on each side, like so. Then you're going to take your breakaway cable. What happens if everything else fails, this pulls and it locks the brakes on the trailer. And then you're going to take your 7-way connection and you'll go ahead and plug it into your 7-way on your trailer. You want to make sure that that is snug and that is plugged in. Now, if you rented the Bluetooth trailer brake controller, it is a module. It will be inside the camper when you pick it up, and that's a module that goes in between the 7-way connection and the tow vehicle, and then you download an app on your phone and you Bluetooth to it, and then your phone is the trailer brake controller. So really simple to do that, to hook all of that up. And what we'll do now is we'll go ahead and do a walk around of the outside of the trailer, and we'll go from there. Okay, we're on the outside of the trailer now, and I apologize for the wind noise. But the first thing I want to mention is the awning. So it's the #1 damaged item, so if you're towing it anywhere, make sure that you check that you're clearing any trees so you don't hit a tree or something like that. Always think 15 feet above you. The other thing you want to do is if you are away from the trailer and it's out, you want to make sure it's retracted. So if you're asleep, make sure it's retracted. If there's any wind, make sure it's retracted. If there's any sort of inclement weather at all, make sure it's retracted, because there can always be a wind gust that comes along and will damage the awning. So just be really responsible with the usage of the awning. So let's go around the outside of this trailer. We'll start here at the front with the storage area. So right here, we'll open this up. And what we have in here is if you are towing and you need the adjustable hitch, it's right here. There's the 30 amp power cord. Again, there is a 30 to 15 amp adapter if you need it in the cabinet above the sink, and I'll show you that later. There's some stabilizing blocks, leveling blocks. And so what you'll use those for is if the ground is unlevel, you will level the trailer front to back with the tongue jack on the front of the trailer, and then side to side with these leveling blocks. So you put them underneath the trailer, you pull the trailer up on them on one side to level out the trailer. And there's also a level inside the plastic bin in the cabinet above the sink. There's a couple chocks there. There's a water hose right there, fresh water hose that you can use like a campground if you have city water connection. It's got a pressure regulator on it. Make sure to always use it with that pressure regulator. And then you've got some crank down jacks and a backup jack for the electric tongue jack. So in case that dies on you, you can still crank it. This trailer does have electric stabilizing jacks that I'll show you. And, but in case they, break or something, or that you lose power, you can use that to crank them up. So let's go to the stabilizing jacks, what we're talking about. So right here, again, these are stabilizing jacks. These are not leveling jacks. So they're used to, you level the trailer again with the leveling block side to side, and then the tongue jack from front to back. And then once it's level, then you crank down the stabilizing jacks to stabilize the trailer. So how you do that is there's this plastic box right here, and you twist that, opens up, there is an up and down right there. So that's just, if you need to go level them, sorry, not level, but stabilize again. And then when you are done stabilizing, just go ahead and close that up like that. All right, going around the front here, you've got the again, the tongue jack, and that's how you will level from front to back. It's electric, so you got your up and your down, and there's a light on here too if you need it. Everything in the trailer will run off the batteries or the propane, except for the microwave, the AC, and there's some 120 volt house style outlets. There's also an electric heater in there, but there is a propane furnace. I'll show you when we go inside. But there's a couple ways you can access the propane tanks. You can undo these screws right here, and then this top flap comes open, or you can just take the cover all the way off, just like that. And then right here, the propane tanks, you can tell if they're not turned on because there is this red indicator right here. It'd be green if propane was flowing. And then there's a indicator that points towards which one it's pulling gas from. So if you open this up, then that would turn to green. And then if you wanted to pull from a different tank, you can point to that one. In theory, it's an auto crossover, so if you did run out on this one and you had it pointed to this one, it should cross over, but that could fail. So just know that you might have to point it to a different tank if you run one tank dry. So that's the propane there. We'll go around to this side. This is the cover for the water heater. It is a tankless water heater. And just so you know, and I'll show you on the inside too, there is a display on that. If it displays any sort of error, the only way to clear it is you come out here and then you turn it off this way and then turn it back on, and that will clear the error. As we go around the side here, I'll show you the freshwater fill for the freshwater tank. But if you ever need to dump the freshwater tank, it's right here. There's a handle, you can see right back there, and you pull that and that will dump all the water out of the freshwater tank. If you want to fill the freshwater tank, again, this is if you don't have city water and you're trying to pull it using the water pump, like if you're boondocking, for example. Then you take this cap off, you can fill water here. It will come full, but if you do run out and you need to fill it again, that's where you would fill the freshwater tank for the trailer. Next to it is the city water connection. So this is if you have a water source at, say, a campground or something. Again, you would plug this in. Definitely make sure you're using the pressure regulator. It's best if you put the pressure regulator on the source, not on this part, but on the source. It's okay if you put it on this one, but just better if you have it on the source side. It does have an outside shower, but we do ask you to not use it, just because there's some problems that can come from that. This is your connection for your 30 amp plug. So the cord that was in the storage area I showed you at first, you would plug it in here and then you would run it to a 30 amp receptacle. If you only have 15 amp, then there is the adapter, 15 to 30 amp adapter. Just know that with that, you're not going to be able to like run the AC off of that. You'll need it directly into a 30 amp. We do dump the tanks for you when you return. Something that only Easy Camper Rental does. And so you don't have to dump the tanks when you return. We will do it for you. However, if you're traveling and you need to dump them, there is the sewer hoses in the storage area that I showed you at first, and you can dump the tanks. Again, you've got the black tank, which is your sewer, like your toilet, and then you've got the gray tank, which is the water, so the sink, showers, example. So what you do is you hook it up, run the hose to the sewer connection, and then you'll pull the black first, and then when that's done, then you will pull the gray, and that way it flushes out the hose. Got some storage back here, just underneath the rear bunk. Going to the back side, we've got your spare tire here if you need it, and then there is a rack here. Again, this can only carry about 200 pounds or so, just because the bumper isn't very heavy duty. So don't go putting a bunch of lead bars on there and going down the road, because that will break it. This trailer does have a backup camera right there. It's not, you have to download Forest River's app and connect through it. I will tell you, you do have to have the running lights on your truck, so then it transfers power back to the trailer. But it's not something that we support because it requires a third-party phone and app. But if you can get it running, you can use it. There's two doors on this trailer. This one goes directly into the bathroom, and then you've got steps that pull out like this for this door. You've got some outdoor speakers that are controlled by the head unit on the inside. You do have some 120 volt outlets. Again, this will only work if you have a generator or an electrical source. This is the outlet for the heater exhaust, so that will get hot, so don't touch that if the heater is running. And then this is kind of an outdoor kitchen-ish, but we do ask you to not use it, just because they're a little bit complicated, so that's something we do ask you to not use. And then down here, if you do have a grill that you've brought that has a quick connect fitting for propane, you can plug it into here and use that. So let's go on the inside. All right, going on the inside of the trailer, we're just gonna show you these steps here. So these are really nice stable steps. They've got a blue handle right here that disconnects it from the wall, and then you can fold them down. And then just so you know, if on each side there's a leg here, and if the ground down here is uneven, like this side's higher than this side, then one leg might need to be higher than the other one, or vice versa. And so you can adjust these by these little tabs here, and then you can move these up and down, and then you've got a really stable steps. This is also a handle. You'll want to push this up and then swing it out. When you're traveling, you can put it against the door too to kind of keep the door from coming open. And here we'll just start at the front and then make our way backwards. So we're up here, we've got the queen bed, and this will be an upgraded memory foam queen bed. It will also have a mattress protector on it. And again, it's a mattress protector, not a sheet, so you still want to have sheets on top of that. Over here, you've got a 150 watt inverter. So there is a power button down here, and then it can power like a laptop or something like that. It does have a fan on it. It is kind of loud, so it's not something you'd probably want to use for a CPAP because it's right next to your head while you're sleeping. But you could, in theory, if your CPAP uses less than 150 watts. And this storage area, not storage, bedroom area, does have doors. So it has a sliding door on each side. So you undo the snap here, and then you can slide the door. And then you can make that a private area. Coming over here, this is the control panel. So up here you've got your water pump. You've got heated tanks. There's your main lights. There's it's an outside light is what it is. It's back there on the outside by the sewer dump area. You've got auxiliary lights, which is kind of these blue lights that come on, and then your awning light on the outside. And then you've got your awning retracting, and because it's a 12-volt awning, so it's a power awning, so it'll go in and out, and then your slide in and out. And so up here, you've got buttons with your battery. You push them, and it will tell you what there is. So you've got your battery, which is full. Your fresh water tank right now is empty. Black is empty. Gray is empty. However, do note that especially with black and sometimes with gray, debris can get stuck on the sensors, and those read incorrectly often. So don't trust them too much. You might, get the trailer delivered or pick it up, and this black might say it's 2/3 full. Promise you it's empty, I promise. We definitely empty them and spray them out, but there's probably just a little thing of debris that got stuck on that certain sensor, and now it reads incorrectly, but they will be empty. Same with gray. The water pump, I just want to mention, the best way to use it is you turn it on, and then you do what you need to do, take a shower, use a sink, whatever, and then you turn it off. You don't leave it on all the time because it is a on-demand pump. If you do leave it on all the time and you're away, then what could happen is fitting could break or something like that, and then it's just going to keep pumping water and flood the trailer. So again, you turn it on, use what you need to use, and then turn it off. Most likely you won't need the heated tanks. That's only if it's going to be really cold and you need to keep them from freezing. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and slide this slide out and then come back to this. The slide is out, and what I also want to mention up here with your lights is, for example, we've got these main lights on right here, but I can turn them off. These will always be controlled by this, so even if I push the button, they're not going to be turned on, so I need to turn them back on with the switch. If I turn them off, then just know that I still need to turn back on and use the switch. All the other lights will just be used with the button on it. So those ones, anything else will be used with the button. So Up here at the front, you've got your radio control here. Again, it's not something that we support that will guarantee that works, but if you want to use that, there are speakers on the inside and the outside. This is an electric heater, so it's kind of like a fake fireplace. Again, there is a gas furnace that will work off the thermostat. I'll show you that later. But this is an electric heater. This will only work off 120 volts. So if you have a generator or an electrical source, then you can run this. And you just control it with the buttons down here as far as power on and off, and then there's some ambient lighting and so on like that. Over here you've got your sofa, and this will turn into a bed. So it's a jackknife, so you pull it up and then out, and then you've got a bed. And then to put it back, you pull it up and then you push in, and now you've got a sofa. You got the dinette right here, and this will also make down into a bed. So right here, you take these table legs off. So you lift this up, they'll come out of here, and you'll remove that table leg, and then use this tabletop. You'll see there's a piece of Velcro right here. There's a piece of Velcro right there on this little ledge around here. You take the tabletop here, and you put it on this ledge, and make sure it's on the ledge. Make sure it's not sitting there wonky or something, because if it's up on like this part right here, and you sit on it, you're going to break it. So make sure it's flush on the ledge, and then you can push all these cushions together and it will make a bed for you. The other sleeping area is this bunk. So pretty big bunk area. All the beds in trailers are all non-standard sizes, so this is kind of like almost a full-size bed in that area. So it's a pretty good size. And then you have a ladder to get up there, so you can pull this up. And then you got a ladder to get up in there. Just make sure you put that back before you slide back in, or you will break that. Let's go into let's go for some storage area. So you got tons of storage. You have storage under here. And one thing to mention here is you pull these up and then out. If you don't pull them up first and you try and pull, they'll get stuck because there's a little wood block under there that blocks it. There stops it from coming out. So when you're driving around with it, it doesn't come out on its own. So don't pull that and break the block off. So you up and out those. You've got your pantry area here. Oh, it's really nice pantry area. So you've got some storage. You've got in the cabinet above the sink this plastic bin I was telling you about. So it's got your 30 to 15 amp adapter. It's got barbecue stick lighter. It's got a level, a reducer sleeve in there. It's got some fuses. So it's got pretty much anything that you would need in there. And then in the kitchen area here, just know that this is actually a washer for a cup. It doesn't work. It's been bypassed, so don't try and use that. It's not going to do anything for you. The sink here, this is just here for some extra counter space here, but you can move that away. And you got your sink area there. You've got your stovetop here, which the first thing you want to do is, if you're using this, you want to move the glass out of the way. If you turn this on and it's running for any period of time, this glass is down, it will shatter the glass. So you first move this glass away. The reason why it's here is to give you more counter space, and then it turns into a backsplash, kind of. So that's why that glass exists. But again, move it away first, and then down here, you're going to first make sure the propane is on. And one trick is, if you're lighting anything for the first time, like you want the furnace to run or whatever, it's best to light the stovetop first and let gas start flowing, and then light any other propane appliance. It's a lot easier to do it that way. So there's just a little light right here that you can turn on. As far as igniting it, you will turn it. There's not gas not gas on, so you'll turn it to high, whatever burn you want, or all three burners, and then you will spark it this way. Only turn this to the right. Do not turn to the left. It will break it if you turn it to the left. So turn it to the right, spark, and then it will ignite it. And then you can set it to, whatever level you want. Let's turn those off. put the glass back down if you're traveling. And then down here is a convection oven. So it's a microwave and oven kind of combo, and an air fryer all in one. This will only work off of 120 volts. So again, it doesn't work off of propane. You do have to have an electric source or a generator for this to work. But you can use this as an oven or a microwave or an air fryer. This is the air inlet for the furnace. Down here you do have your converter. So this is where the fuse, if you push it in, that's where the fuse is. If the fuse blows, it will light there. A light will light up next to it. And then you've got your breakers in here too. This is a battery disconnect right here. So this will turn all, all of the appliances off. So if you got a kid or something starts playing around and they pull that out, everything's going to go off. So if nothing is working, most likely this got removed. So, and you just twist it and pull it out, or put it in and twist it. You'll know if it's running because it will tell you the voltage of the trailer right there. Right here we have our fridge. This is a super nice fridge. You can open it from both sides. So you just pull the latch open, or you can open it from this side. So it's really convenient, really nice fridge. And these are 12 volt DC fridges. It's how the entire industry has gone this way. So these work just like the fridges in our house. They have a compressor, they blow cold air. They work way better than the old gas absorption fridges. And how this one works is that you'll see this is a normal indicator if there's an over amperage or under amperage. Under amperage would mean your battery is too far depleted, and then OF means off. So to turn this one on, all you do is, this isn't really a button, you just put your finger on it and it senses it. 5 seconds, it turns on like that. This is the setting. It's telling it's Fahrenheit and then what temperature it is. So if I want to go, if I'm like, oh, I really want my fridge temperature to be 38, then I can change it to freezer, and I'm like, oh, I really want my freezer to be 8 degrees, whatever. And your freezer is down here. You push down, and there's your freezer down there. So it's as easy as that. And then to turn it off, you just, again, hold this down, and it will turn off in 5 seconds. So that's that. Oh, you also have a hood over the range too. You've got a light and a fan. Let's go over to the thermostat over here. So it's a pretty simple thermostat. This will control the air conditioner and it will control the furnace. Again, the air conditioner is only going to work if you have an electrical connection, 30 amp electrical connection. You can run it off of 15 for a certain period of time. Most likely it's going to trip the breaker, and not in the trailer. It will trip the breaker on the source side. So if you had it hooked up at your house or something, it would probably trip the breaker in your house. So just know it's designed to run 30 amp. And then the furnace will run off the batteries and the propane, so you don't need an electrical source there. So the number it's displaying is the ambient temperature inside the trailer at that time. There's some things on this that I'm just going to tell you to disregard because it's just easier that way. But the mode button here, you're going to hold it in to turn it on first. Once it turns on, then it's kind of hard to see, but it will go through, as you push it, it's going to go through a series of modes. So one is cool, one is heat, one is fan, and one is dry. Just disregard fan and dry. So cool is the AC, heat is the furnace. So if I wanted to do the AC, I would set it on cool. I'm going to leave my fan speed. So if you push fan, it will tell you high, low, auto. Just leave it on auto. And then you're just going to use the buttons to set it. So, 74 degrees or whatever. Just know that if it's like 130 degrees outside, the trailer, it's not designed to cool down to like 60 degrees on the inside. It's just not going to do it. So just, be reasonable with your situation. If you're in immediate sun and it's really hot outside, it's really only going to cool you down like, 10, 20 degrees max. But if you're in the shade or something like that and it's not as hot, then it can cool you down more. But just be reasonable with that. The other thing you always want to know is if you leave the AC running for long periods of time, it will freeze up. The ones in our house will do it too. They're just bigger so they can take more load, but the AC will freeze up. And basically what will happen is it will still continue to run. It just won't blow cold air. So that's kind of a telltale sign it's frozen. All you have to do is just turn it off and let it thaw out. And then you can turn it back on. It'll start working again. So again, you just set your mode to cool. You use the gauges here, or I mean the arrows to set the temperature, and you're good. For the furnace, you set it to heat, and you'll see the heat right there. The F flashing means Fahrenheit. And then you will set the temperature there too. So like 72 degrees or 70 degrees, for example. And then what will happen is the furnace will turn on. Again, make sure that your propane is on, because if your propane isn't on, this isn't going to work. So make sure the propane's on first. Make sure it's flowing. Again, a trick is to light the stovetop first, make sure propane's flowing, and then turn this on. And and then when you're done with that, you will hold this down, again, the power button, and it's going to turn off the thermostat. The AC is ducted, so anywhere that you see these, that's where the AC is going to come out. Or unless you want to dump cold air fast, you can open that up and it will dump air fast. So anywhere you see those, like there and there, I believe there's one in the bedroom area, that will be ducted for the AC. The heater, the furnace, is also ducted, so that's the air intake right there. But there's a duct right there, and then I believe the other duct is right there. So that's ducted also. So that's how the thermostat and the heater and the AC work. And you do have these curtains here that you can get some privacy on the bunk area. Here is the bathroom. So you got your sink. You got a cabinet here. Here is your controller for the water heater. Again, it's tankless. The best way to use this is just to set it to the temperature you want. See here, like 100, 102, maybe 105 if you really like hot water. But set it to that and then only use the hot water side. Don't try and mix it with cold water to like get the temperature you're desiring. Just set it to the temperature you want. Just use the hot water side. That's the best way to do it. It's the most efficient way to use that. So that's how that works. If there isn't any error, E1, E2, whatever, again, on the outside of the trailer, you can turn it off and then turn it back on. It will clear those error codes. The most common one is E1. That means there's no propane flowing. And so you got light here, light switch. You can turn this off too, so that's off. Over here you've got your toilet, and we just ask that you don't, flush any of those items on that sticker. So pretty simple to use, and then it's got a foot flush down here to flush it when you're done. And you've got your shower here. Again, you don't have an unlimited source of water, so the best thing to do is, unless you're at a campground, you got hookups, but then you don't have an unlimited capacity for the runoff of the water, because you will fill up your gray water tank. And if you fill up your gray water tank, the telltale sign is it will backfill into the bathtub. So if it starts filling up, then you didn't clog it, you just filled the gray water tank. And then you'll want to drain that, because the gray water does not smell good, even though it is just water, soapy water basically. But again, if you're boondocking and you're pulling water from the freshwater tank using the water pump instead of an unlimited source, just know you can run out of water pretty quick. So the best way to do showers is just get in, get wet, lather up, or turn off the water, lather up, turn the water back on, and then rinse yourself off. With the tankless water heater, it does take some time to get the hot water to the source. So just know that kind of is a tricky way to do it, but that's the best way to do it if you don't have an unlimited source of water. So that's the trailer there. I thank you again for renting from Easy Camper Rental, and I hope you enjoy your vacation.